sign them motherfuckers.
Welcome to the Knowledge is Free podcast. I'm your host, Maurice Dobbins. A lot of you know me as Reese back home. Most of you in the business world know me as Mo Value, Ask for Mo, all of the above. Hey, it is I am him, and I am here to talk to you guys about the word identity. And this is going to be a fun one. Probably going to be a little bit intense as well, but nonetheless, it's going to be a fun topic to talk about. Okay, identity. Who are you? What is your identity? Who do you define yourself as? And what do you define yourself as? Who are you establishing yourself as in this world? It's your identity. Okay, I'll be the first to let everybody know that I've always struggled over the past years with my identity, mostly because, I've fallen into the perception of what people think about me and how they feel about me, which is another word that we're going to dive a little bit into, and they're kind of intertwined, and we're going to get into that, okay? But before we get too far into it, I do want to give us a true definition of identity, okay? And that is the unique characteristics and qualities that define who a person or thing is, thus distinguishing them from others. So who are you? What is your identity? Who do you define yourself as? And what? Moving back to the word perception. Perception is the idea that someone has of you and what they feel about you, how they see you, view you, all of the above. That's perception, okay? It's something that is created. That's a picture, that's a depiction that they have created in their mind, and they've pinned that on you. And boy, do we fall into that world quite often. We all do. How is perception and identity intertwined? Well, I can tell you in my own way, in my own definition, okay, and just going back to the original definition of identity is the unique, I put emphasis on that word for a reason, the unique characteristics and qualities that define who a person or thing is, thus distinguishing them from others. Now, if you take the word unique and you replace it with ideal, well, in my definition, we have perception. So let me read it to you in that way. The ideal characteristic and qualities that define who a person or thing is, thus distinguishing them from others. The ideal versus unique. Unique and identity is who you have created yourself to be, what you have established yourself as, and who you establish yourself as. Versus perception is the idea, the ideal characteristics, which is, obviously what somebody else has painted you to be in their mind. Their idea of who you are is the picture they have painted of you. That's how easy it is to intertwine these words and get them confused with each other. That's how easy it is to instead create your identity versus rolling with the perception that people have of you. We tend to lean on what people think of us often. Again, that's what I've stated in the beginning of this. I've grown up leaning on what people thought of me. I've always took the opinions and thoughts and feelings of everybody that I surrounded myself with, and I try to create my identity based off of that. And let me tell you, there's no more of a wrong way to create your identity, and that's basing it off of what somebody feels and thinks of you. Because again, it's just a picture that they created based off of a moment that they had with you. And it's not up to you to dictate on whether or not that was a good or bad moment. It's up to them. That's why it's called a perception. Okay? But if you find yourself doing that, for those of you that are finding yourself doing that now, I encourage you to take a step back, go grab you a mirror, look in it, and then you just ask yourself, who do I want to be? What defines me? Or what doesn't define me? Okay? You got to have those moments with yourself to try to figure out, who you are and what you want to stand for. It is so easy to let someone's perception shape you into someone that you have no desire to be. Absolutely no desire to be. But it's so easy to let someone's perception of you do that. It's almost like a lie. It's like a lie. You tell one lie, you have to tell another, and then that 2 turns into 3, and then 4, and then 5, and before you look up, nobody knows the real story anymore. Nobody knows it anymore. And perception is practically the same thing. It's the same way that we can look at it. If you're shaping yourself based off of perception, it can be the same exact way, because you're going to encounter multiple people, right? You're going to have family, you're going to have friends that you're going to surround yourself with, and then they're going to have this idea of who they think that you are, who they desire you to be. And if you're listening to it and you're taking notes and you are shaping yourself into this person that they desire for you to be, eventually you forget who you are. You forget your true identity. And if you never had one, you'll never get one that way, because people's perception changes. And so therefore you're going to always change. That is the complete opposite of the definition of identity. Identity is who you create yourself to be, who you define yourself to be. What do you desire to be, and who do you desire to be? And it is so important for you to stand so tall in your identity that there is absolutely nothing that can change it. Your identity should be so indestructible that it doesn't matter what anybody thinks or feel or have to say about you. You still remain who you are. You still remain who you are. And with that, my friends, I encourage each and every one of you to find your identity, create that person that you want to be, and let's not base it off of what somebody feels or thinks, because again, people's perception changes, man. It changes often, it changes daily, it changes by the minute. And you will tear yourself apart. You will break yourself down if you shape yourself, if you constantly shape yourself off of the perception of what people think of you. You won't even know yourself anymore. And this can be applied to, just like I've talked about in my previous episodes, this can be applied to family, friendships, relationships, and business, no matter what it is. If you don't establish who you are and stand on that, and what do we say in these times now? We're standing on business. I'm kind of old, y'all. I got a couple friends that I talk to often that makes fun of me about this. I'm old, and they call me Unc. And you know who you are. Calls me Unc. But I think I'm still kind of hip to. Oh man, I sounded old when I said that, hip. Anyway. Now I've lost my train of thought. So I am old, but still, at the end of the day, guys, I encourage all of you to find your identity, know who you are. If you're in a relationship, know who you are in that relationship. Know what you desire, know what your soul desires, what keeps you going. If you're in that business relationship, know what's going to keep motivating you. Know what's going to keep driving you to reach more and higher goals. identity will do that for you. But if you don't have an identity and you're basing yourself off of the perception of what people think about you, what that business partner may think about you, and how his view of you, you're never going to make it. You're never going to make it. It's just like gold-plated jewelry. It won't make it through the conditions. It won't make it through the conditions. Go swimming. Go get in that ocean. Go get in that chlorine. Go take that, multiple mile run where you're sweating that 100-degree weather. Put it through the conditions. Let's see how long gold-plated jewelry lasts. Let's see how long it will last. Okay, that's the same analogy you can use when you approach anything in life or any relationship, any friendship, any business that you establish yourself with. No matter what it is, if you don't have a true identity going into any of those things, you will not last. You will not last. You're just like gold-plated jewelry. Eventually, it looks good now, but eventually it's going to fade away and you won't even recognize what it is. Therefore, you won't recognize who you are. Knowledge is free, and until next time, love.